Today we're going to walk through the basic setup of your Garmin LiveScope system. Almost every time you go out, water conditions will be different. Setting up for one trip may not work for your next trip. You may need to start your trip by resetting the LiveScope system to default settings. From the LiveScope sonar page, select Options or the three dots. Then select Sonar Setup. Select Installation. Select Restore Sonar Defaults. Select Yes. And then hit OK. Now check the orientation of the transducer. The LiveScope transducer has an Attitude Heading Reference Sensor, or AHRS. This allows the system to know what orientation the transducer is mounted in, and how the system can change between forward, down, and perspective modes automatically. You will want to make sure the AHRS has been calibrated recently, especially if you have moved the mounting location. AHRS will only work if the LiveScope transducer is mounted on a shaft or on the transom of the boat. You can calibrate the AHRS from the installation settings. First, select Options from the LiveScope sonar page. Then select Sonar Setup. Select Installation. Select Calibrate Compass. Follow the on-screen instructions. Select OK once the calibration is complete. In the LiveScope screen, select Options. Then select Sonar Setup. Select Installation. Select Stabilization. Turn Auto Stabilize on. Auto Stabilize enables the internal attitude heading and reference system sensors to detect the installation angle of the Panoptix transducer automatically. You can enter the specific installation angle for the transducer using the pitch angle setting when Auto Stabilize is turned off. Keep in mind, this only allows the transducer to choose between orientations. You will need a separate heading sensor if you want to know the direction the transducer is pointed in relation to the boat. You will need to manually configure the orientation if you have a LiveScope transducer mounted on the trolling motor barrel. This can be done from the LiveScope sonar page by selecting Options, Sonar Setup, Installation, and then Orientation. Select either down or forward to match your transducer orientation. Now test the view using a lure in the path of the beam. You may need to manually configure the orientation of the transducer if the AHRS is not working or calibrating. Next, you can start adjusting the settings for your current conditions. The first thing we would look at is interference levels. The noise reject setting allows us to counteract interference in the image. This setting can be found on the LiveScope sonar page by selecting Options. Select Sonar Setup. Then select Noise Reject. Set Noise Reject to High for high levels of interference. Set Noise Reject to Low or Off for low levels of interference. Setting Noise Reject to Medium is usually the best option. You may see what looks like a starburst in a ring around the transducer. It can hide objects close to the boat. You will want to set the TVG to a higher setting to lessen the starburst. We will now move on to the gain setting. Gain is a setting that is going to change often. Gain can be adjusted from the LiveScope sonar page by selecting Options. Then select Gain. Too high of a gain will wash out your targets with clutter. Too low of a gain will erase targets completely, causing them not to appear. Depth can also affect gain. Deeper water will require a higher gain setting. Shallow water will require a lower gain setting. The last setting that plays an important factor in good returns is the range. The range is the distance that the screen will show. A range set further out is generally better in deeper water. This will cause your targets to be smaller. A range that is set closer is generally better in shallow water. This will cause your targets to be larger, but you may lose the distance that you want. Keep in mind that range is similar to gain, where it is more of an individual preference than something that is correct or incorrect. You can adjust a few different filters on your LiveScope transducer. Color schemes can be changed in your LiveScope settings. select Options. Sonar Setup. Select Appearance. Then select Color Scheme. Here, we will filter through the different color schemes of the LiveScope system. Now, we can adjust the color gain setting. Select Options. Sonar Setup. Appearance. Then select Color Gain. The settings will be on default, which is 50% if the device has been reset. Increasing the color gain will increase the brightness of targets and the bottom. Too much color gain increase can result in a distorted return from the LiveScope image. Too little color gain can result in not seeing your bottom or targets from the LiveScope image. Color Limit is a new setting from Garmin that was released on EchoMap UHD and GPS Map Series chart plotters compatible with Panoptix LiveScope. The Color Limit setting can be found in the Appearance setting of the LiveScope. Color Limit is used when we want to reduce the amount of background noise that may appear in distorted water. This color limit is set to 0% when starting in default settings. Too much of the color limit setting can result in targets and detail being distorted. Remember, the LiveScope can always be reverted to default settings. The LiveScope will need to calibrate again if restoring sonar defaults is done on the Garmin chart plotter. Understanding these settings should allow you to get the best possible image on your LiveScope sonar. And that's it. Thanks for watching. For more help, please subscribe to the Garmin Support YouTube channel and visit marinesupport.garmin.com.